Good day, everyone. Today, we're going to take a second look on the status of the peso dollar exchange rate and some updates about our local stock exchange index, the PSEi. This is a second look because remember, we had our initial analysis on the state of the peso dollar exchange rate sometime about September 12th. So here goes. So if we're going to look at the chart right now of the peso against the US dollar, well, it's still on an uptrend, but it has been going on sideways for the past 3 weeks now, between 58 and 59. And if you would notice, our MACD has been on a somehow downward path or bias because after a downward crossover. A downward crossover is much like this, wherein we expect that there would be a correction. Okay. So, however, the correction right now seems to be sideways. Okay. But then, overall, the market seems to be, still resilient. Now, providing a channel on the price action or enveloping the price action over the past 6 months, you could clearly see that it is on an upward channel, and the the uh, the the bias is for the market to continue to go up because movements like these, okay, a consolidation preceded by a rally is somehow considered a continuation pattern. It's not exactly a bull flag, but it is more likely to go up rather than come down because the characteristic of a market top is rarely, you know, a consolidation. The characteristic of a market top is usually a spike. It is kind of quick. So because if you're going to consider the past movements, okay, after a rally and a consolidation, it's going to go up again, then consolidate, then go up and then consolidate, this time with a bigger range. So essentially, this is like the fourth time that it's going to rally, and then consolidate. So clearly, what is going to happen next is a continuation of a rally. As to a high, well, my guess is at about initially 60 pesos because that is a psychological resistance. But we do not discount the fact that it can possibly, definitely overshoot 60 pesos up to about 62 pesos maximum as, our previous forecast would say. So, what we want to see right now, if ever, is that it's going to correct somehow, even if it goes out of the channel and the MACD will go down close to the center line, okay, and then if it ever it rebounds for the fifth time, it will form what we call a divergence. So that could possibly be the first sign that the market is going to weaken. Although right now there seems to be a slight divergence of a higher high, but then your MACD is actually have a lower high. So that means that the uptrend is not as strong as the previous high. So essentially, if there would be another third attempt, for a high, and then we could see that the MACD is not going to be leveling up with its previous high, I would like to think that that could be, an exhaustion point already. Now, since the peso dollar exchange rate is on an uptrend, when do we say, that it could possibly be on a reversal mode? Okay. So we have to take a look at the application of the Fibonacci. Okay. So the Fibonacci tells us that, after a rise or even a fall, the correction is going to be targeting a certain level of percentage of the previous trend. So in this case, If it rallied from about 52 to about 56, okay, the correction went to about 54 level, which is the Fibonacci. So the Fibonacci levels would be at about somewhere of a correction between 38.2% to about 61%. Now, considering the recent rally from about 55 to about 59, okay, so the correction according to Fibonacci, these three uh, popular, retracement level of 38.2, 50%, and 61.8% will be pointing at a level between 57 and 56. Now, clearly, 56 is like a significant level because remember, the high in about, I think 2004 was also 56, and that remains to be like a resistance. So that being a resistance that was broken recently is now going to become a major support, wherein it is possible that the correction can still extend to about 56 level, and the MACD would go back to about near the center line, and the uptrend can still be, can still persist. So for those who are looking to buy the US dollar, that could be a buy zone. But, okay, for those who are holding on to the dollar, you can actually sell some when it reaches more than 60. I believe that is like a stretch already. And if ever it's going to come down, okay, the critical point would be about 56 level because that is the previous high. So what does it tell us? 56 is going to be a turning point, okay? Because as of now, that is like the Fibonacci level, and even without the Fibonacci, that is a strong resistance level, wherein that will be a turning point that when the exchange rate would fall below 56 and even further below 55, that could be an affirmation that the uptrend is already over, okay? So it would start now testing, the lows at about 54, 52, going down to about 50, okay? So if you want to know more about this technical analysis that I've been spitting out since the onset, you might want to consider enrolling in my mentorship program, Trade With Me, and the details, you can check it out at bit.ly/TWM info and join my December batch. This program has been going on for more than 3 years. So moving on to PSE. Okay? PSE is kind of the opposite of the price action of the exchange rate because PSE had been on a rebound, since hitting a low of about 5,700. And for about 2 weeks, it has been on a rebound. So perhaps because clearly the MACD also experienced some oversold, situation, and it has crossed upward. So it is undeniable that the trend right now is on a mini rally after a strong drop coming from about 6,800 high. Okay, so what does it tell us? If we're going to consider these moving averages, okay, it's much like a resistance, okay, that somehow was breached, okay, sometime about August, wherein the downward uh, sell down, happened. Okay. Right now, it is at about 6,400. Okay, so that is now kind of the resistance. So if ever the market will be going up, that could also be the target, the 6,400. So that's going to be the maximum level. So how are we going to affirm that? So for one, I think if we're going to make this connection, that is going to be somewhere there. And then if we're going to take the application of the Fibonacci, it will be, like this, Fibo, Fibo. This one is Fibo with an extension that made a double top formation. So therefore, what is now the Fibonacci of this current range? So I've drawn this, that the current range of the retracement, from its previous high is somewhere at about 6,400 to 6,100, which is going to coincide with the descending angular resistance, which could possibly terminate at about 6,400. So 6,400 right now would be a crucial part of the index, no, wherein we could possibly say that that could be the turning point. So if it's 56 for the peso, it's going to be 66,400 for the index. And if you would notice, the trend is downward because much like doing the staircase, no. So but then this rally could possibly provide some breather for it to, if ever it plans to test the support again at about 5,700. So this 6,400 could possibly be, present up until December, the whole month of December. So more or less that could be our target, for this year, that the market can test, 6,400 if it will sustain its current rally. If there would be any extension, a break of the resistance, there is a stronger resistance at about 6,800. We cannot, claim that the market is already on a reversal. Okay, so we might have to check, our indicators, at the time, when that happens. So that ends our presentation. Continue to like our Facebook page, The Fast Exchange. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Fast Exchange. And if you have questions, inquiries, or suggestions, you may write to me at rickyso@thefastexchange.com. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay kayong lahat.